Right, guys, so as I said, we're now going to go on to lengths of hook lengths. I got asked about it when I did all through the box of changing hook lengths. A few people have asked for a bit more detail on why I use the lengths, so here we go. I'm going to start at the longest ones and work my way down. I think that's going to be the easiest way of doing this. So, starting at 12-inch hook lengths. For carp shallow, I don't use anything else. Now, some venues have a 12-inch limit, but I find 12 inches best even if there isn't the limit, in all honesty. Unless they're mega shallow in your casters or something, but we'll go on to that as we go through the hook length. Now, 12-inch hook length, why I use it, it's carp like to watch a bait fall. It's not like F1s where you're bombing it to the depth of that. Carp watch a bait fall in the feed, and that's when they take it. An ideal world for all carp fishing, we would have no shot on a rig and just let it fall slowly and you would catch loads. But we would never get any presentation, so it's finding the happy medium. So look at it, just go on to waggler fishing as an example for it. When you're fishing a pellet waggler, you catch them as soon as it's water, but you're having to fish free foot to keep your float away from them. It's the same on a pole, like 12 inches, you're keeping that little float a little bit further away. They're a lot more confident with it. So 12 inch for all my shallow fishing for carp. It's just, because you're going to have no shot on it, it's just keeping everything nice and tidy, got the loop away, and it's just helping the slow fall. That's why I use the 12 inch. Now I do use there a few, as you saw, some other hook lengths, not like my bands for fishing shallow. The smaller ones are for maggots, for dobbing. Again, it's just for keeping the float away from them when you're dobbing. They don't like, once they've been dobbed a bit, they get a bit wise. Sometimes fishing 2 foot deep just to keep the float away from them. Again, it's trying to get them as it lands in front of them, a few inches below the surface, but it's just so the float doesn't spook them. It's that same principle again. Now the big hooks, like the 12s, the heavy gear, I use them for paste and like cat meat. Again, it's such a heavy bait, you don't need a shot near the hook because that's holding your rig steady. So it's just letting that bait fall past them naturally, even though it's really heavy, it still looks more natural. That is the 12 inches. That's covered it. There's no more I can say about that. Going down from that, 6 inches, my go-to for carp. We're going through summer stuff here, we'll do winter. We're soon be getting on to winter stuff, in all honesty. The fishing's turning a lot quicker than I think we all expected to. It's definitely starting to get into more autumn mode already, about a month earlier than expected. It's normally October time, but we'll cover that. I'll do another video at the end of the week about what we should be expecting next few weeks. So this is all summer based, but yeah, 6 inches, that is my go-to for carp on the deck, like with pellets, corn, meat, stuff like that. It's simply just to get presentation. I want a shot 6 inches from the hook so I can read what's going on through the water to hold it steady. You're fishing on the bottom there. That's pretty bog standard again, but that's the reasoning behind it. It's just, let's say if it's windy, you can lay a bit on and just have a shot right near the bottom, keep that loop in it. Again, that's quite a simple one, so I'm not going to go too much into that. Next one is 4 inches, which is my carp fishing down the edge. Unless I'm fishing somewhere with loads of fish, like rookery is a good example, like Todborough, I don't go there, it's miles away, but same sort of thing where there's lots and lots of smaller carp. Might use a 3 inch, but from a general one it's 4 inch. Again, it's like in the edge, I've drawn a little thing here, and going forward from this I'm going to get a whiteboard so we can draw things on. But say we're fishing, I hope you can see this, we're fishing in 12 inches of water, 4 inch hook length. This is like a perfect edge. I know some are deeper, but if it was 2 foot it would still apply as such. This is the whole water column, a big carp coming in there. It's probably going to be up to there, it's like 8 inches deep at least, maybe deeper. So we want the bulk like down here to steady the rig, because that a big carp is going to move that whole water table there, and it's just keeping it steady. We could use, like I say, you could use a short one in real shallow water, but 4 inches is definitely my go-to. I hope I'm holding this in front of the camera, you can't see me now, but yeah, it's just so that the shot is in proportion in the right place in the water. It's never going to stop the rig from going when a fish moves its tail or whatever, but it's just keeping it steady, and your bulk is in the bottom and steadying it in that proportion of water. So that's all the carp one's done. I think it's like the 3 and the 2 inches people are more like want a bit more on, in all honesty, because they're the bit away from the norm. Now we'll move on to them, like mud lining, like when we're fishing for F1s and carp. A 3 inches by definitely best. It's like, again, margins, most of the margins I fish are a bit deeper than that, so that 4 inches right, but you're fishing in sort of this 12 inch. Again, it's just having the like if your float's there, you've not got a lot of line. If you had a 4 inch hook length, your bulk's almost going to be like above your knot, is almost mid depth by the time you put your float length in. And it's just all wrong, you're not in proportion, it's just keeping the weight down in the rig. So that's 4 inch. Again, for shallow fishing, it's exactly the same, different reason, it's just so you can have that, like for F1, so you can have that bulk shot down there, and the rig's in proportion, that's still bossing the float then, because it's like, let me just get this here, put a float on here, I'll just do a bit of drawing quickly. Only a little float, but say that's how long your shallow rig is. That's 3 inches long, that's going to be down to 9 inches. If you had a bulk there, it's almost mid depth again, it's not stabilising the rig. That's when the short comes in, and you're getting down to where the like if it was for F1s or carp, in all honesty, when you're fishing that shallow, this is with casters and maggots now, where they do sit in the feed like the F1s do. It's just keeping that rig stable in that. And again, like for maggot fishing on the bottom for F1s and stuff like that, they're so shy biting, you want that first dropper to be quite low so they haven't got too much room to move before they can eject it. It's just so you're seeing that bite a bit quicker, because they do spin it straight in and out. 4 inches, you're giving them quite a long way to sort of, they can move, and you're not seeing indication. That 2 inches would be, the shot would be too close and would fall too quick. That 3 inch is just nice. So I hope that comes across. If you need me to explain it a bit more, I will do. Now on to the 2 inches. Now, like for F1s again, see we're in 12 inches, anywhere below, like we fish 10 inches. Can you see that? If we fish 10 inches, like shallow, you even fish a bit shallow than that sometimes. If you've got your float there again, say there, you had your hook length there, your bulk's nearly at mid depth, it's not doing what you want it to be doing. That's why we'd shorten down to 2 inches, just to keep, like you'll notice if you ship out, if you're fishing really shallow and you've got a 3 inch hook length on, it can almost swing back like from the bulk, because that's the pivot point in the rig, and hook the bottom of the float. It's just about keeping that down again. That's all it's for, the different lengths, is just to keep everything balanced. Again, if I've got a real shallow mud line, I personally 12 inches is right for me, but I know some people, or some pegs, you might have 9 or 10 inches, you're still catching it, but you've got to keep all that rig in proportion. And it is, I don't know if that's, to me it sounds simple, I hope that's come across. It's all about just keeping the rig in proportion. With carp, it's the key, I'll do it as like key points now. The key point with the carp is giving them time to see the bait. that's the reason. The longer hook lengths, obviously in the edge you've got more fish coming in shallow water, we're keeping it down. And it's just about balancing the bait falling and keeping it still in front of him, depending on how much water, depth of water you're in. Same for the like the 2 and 3 inch hook lengths, which in all honesty my box is there for F1s, but I have done one for rookery because it's fishing for carp on a snake like an F1 style, but carp fishing. So that's why I've got them. I hope that covers it. It might not. I'm still undecided how, if you're going to get what I mean. It's one of them I need to get out on the bank. I want a whiteboard and stuff with, but I hope that helps. If I do need to do some more on it, just tell me, and I will get it straight done for you. But I hope that does help. Don't think you have to have millions and millions of hook lengths. This is because I go all over the place and do lots of different fishing, and I want it dead right. It's tiny little percentages. You can easily do it with 1 or 2 hook boxes depending on just what venues you fish. Obviously, like I say, I fish all different places and I don't want to be tying them up last minute. I've got them all there. I can just turn up, and like all my rigs, I've got all the rigs there. I just turn up at the venue and I know I'm covered for whatever I'm going to face. So tailor it to your venue, but just keep those things in mind. Short for when we're in shallow water or fishing really shallow. Just keep the bulk in proportion for shallow and for depth, and from the depth. It's just about keeping the bulk in proportion right down in the rig to help steady that rig from liners and stuff. The more, that's what I'm trying to explain, in shallow water, not when you're fishing shallow, but in shallow water when we've got a short hook length on it, it's because we're keeping the bulk down, because the fish are churning up so much, they're churning up the whole of the water you're in. If you had like strum shot or a light float, it would go everywhere, and the short hook length combined with a big bulk is the best way of combating that. So that is, I hope it, like I say, I hope it's come across. If it hasn't, just let me know and we'll try and get something else done. But thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you want covering next. I'm here to help, and I will speak to you again soon. Cheers.